Hello. So this is our FSA practice. This is week 1, and we are beginning on question 9. We'll see how many we can fit in this video. All right, so it says the table below shows the record low temperatures for 5 different states. List the states in order from coldest to warmest. So informative, you're going to put coldest at the very top. So when we have temperatures, this should bring to mind that we are talking about that thermometer. Okay, this is like an up. Woof. Don't mind me. That was a terrible line. I don't know where I was going with that. Well, that one is much better. So like this is 0. This would be 0 temperature. So if we're talking negative temperatures here, we're going to go like -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. And their numbers are just going to get more negative, okay? So a colder temperature would be farthest away from 0. That's probably the coldest we can go. So looking at these, the one that is the farthest away from 0, that one would take us the amount of numbers to do, is -40. So Arizona would be our coldest temperature. So we can cross that one out. Now we need the next coldest. So we're going to look at these and see which one of these would be farthest away from 0. And it looks like Kentucky. So let's put Kentucky in second place. Okay. So what would be next? Farthest away. Ooh, I see Illinois. That's at -36. We can cross that guy out. And then we have between -32 and -35. Well, this is farther away from 0. So Massachusetts would be here, and then Connecticut technically is the warmest temperatures. That would be at the top or the bottom. Okay. All right, week 1, question 10. Determine the greatest common factor, or GCF, of each pair. So let's go back and think about what factors are. So I'm going to explain what a factor is, and then I want you to pause the video and try this one on your own. So a factor are numbers that can be multiplied together to make a number. So for example, let's look at the number 24. There are a lot of numbers that can be multiplied together to make 24, like 24 times 1, 2 and 12, 6 and 4, just a bunch. What am I not thinking of? Oh, 8 and 3. So when I say there's a bunch of numbers, all of these numbers, the number 24, the number 1, the number 2, the number 12, all of these are factors. Okay, so we have to find the greatest common one. So how you do this is you're going to list the factors of each number and then find the biggest one that they have in common. So if this is like a, oh, I remember this moment, go ahead and pause this video, try it on your own, and then come back and replay and check your work. So I'm going to do, for the sake of the video, I'm going to find our factors. So we did 24. I think I found a bunch of them for you. We did 1, 24, 1 times 24, and then we did 2 and 12, 8 and 3, 6 and 4. I think that was it. These are all of the factors of 24. Now 36, we have 1 and 36. I know I have 6 and 6, so I don't need to write the number twice because still just 6 is a factor. We have 12 and 3, and I'm trying to think of any more. I don't think there's any more. Yep, okay. So now let's go ahead and just look. So what numbers do they have in common? Well, they have the number 1 in common. Oh, sorry, 2 and 18. I apologize. They have the number 2 in common. They have the number 12 in common. Oops, they do not have the number 8 in common. 3, 6, I think that's it. All right, so now that you find all the ones that they have in common, just find the greatest one. And so the largest number that they have in common, it looks like, is the number 12. Cool, right? All right. So let's go ahead and do 160. So let's think about numbers that go into 100. My first is 10 and 10, 2 and 50, 4 and 25, 5 and 20. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So let's think of numbers that go into 60. And again, I am going fast. So feel free to like pause this, write your answer on your paper, and then press play, and and then you can check. So numbers that go into 60. We have 1 and 60. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot about 1 and 100. That's a factor. Duh. 1 and 60. We have 2 and 30. I have 3 tens. 20 and 3. I thought 4 and 15. I think that's it. I can't think of any more. Okay. So now let's look at their common ones. They both share tens. They both share twos. They don't share 50. They both share 4. 25. No, it's not in this list. 5. Oh, 5 would go into 60. 12 times. Forgot about 5 and 12. Sorry. So the number 5 they share, the number 20 they share number 1, and they don't share 100. Okay, so now that you've figured out how many they have in common, we just have to find the greatest one. And it looks like 20 is that winner. All right, 8 and 27. At least we have smaller numbers here. I'm going to switch colors so this doesn't look so crazy. All right, let's think of numbers that go into 18. Okay, obviously 1 and 18. And then 2 and 9. 3 and 6. I think that's it. Yep. All right, so let's look at 27. 1 and 27. And then 3 and 9. I think that's it. This one doesn't have a lot of factors. Okay, so let's look at the ones it has in common. They both have a 1. They both have a 9, and they both have a 3. So now that we know their common factors, it's still looking for the greatest. And so that one is 9. It's the biggest number that they share. Whew. Last one, 64 and 88. And the cool thing about it is it seems a little complicated, but really not. Okay, so 64. Let's think of all of the factors of 64. 1 and 64. 2 and 32. What else goes into it? 2 and 32. Oh, 4 and 16. And then 8 times 8. So I only have to write the number 8 one time. I think that's it. Okay, let's do 88. This one's pretty easy. All right, 1 and 88, 2 and 44, and then I think it's just 8 and 11. I think it's only factors. All right, so let's see what it has in common. It has a 2 and an 8. That's it. It's the only things they share in common. Oh, and the number 1, so 8 must be your answer. We're doing good. All right, we are officially on question number 11. Question number 11. Select all the statements that are true. When you see something like this where it says select all, that means there are definitely multiple answers here. There are multiple answers. It is not a pick one. Wow, that's the worst way of spelling answer. Okay. Select all the statements that are true about this number line. They have this beautiful number line for us. Number A. Point F, okay, point F, which is this guy, has the largest absolute value. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is wonder what in the world absolute value is. Okay, absolute value is the distance from 0. It is a physical distance. So if you remember us in class, I was saying that remember we were walking from our computer to our door, like we were just counting the physical distance. So from 0 to the letter F, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please ignore that. We do not go 8. These are in little portions, sorry. So there's the number 1, there is the number 2. So F has an absolute value of 2. Now we just have to see if anyone else does have anything bigger than 2. Okay, so to the letter E, that has an absolute value of 1.5. That's not farther away. This one has an absolute value of like 3/4. So that's not farther. That has 1. Nope. This has 1.5. And this distance is actually more than 2. It's like 2.25. I know that it's a negative number, but it's not asking for the largest number. It's asking for the largest absolute value. So does F have the largest absolute value? That is no. Letter A does. It's farthest away from 0. So that would be false. So it's not true, so don't select it. Okay. Let's do another one. Points B and E have the same absolute value. Well, let's see. To get to B, I go 1.5. So that distance is 1.5 or 1.5. Now E is 1.5. How about that? That distance is also 1.5. It just happens to be to the right. So that is true. So it's definitely B. Okay. C. The distance between C and F is 3 units. Well, let's see if that's true. So I'm going to start at C and I have to go to F. So that's 1, 2, 3. Hey, that's true. That's true. That's 3 units. So that would be one of them. Point C represents the opposite of point D. Well, let's make that true. So D is right here. D is like at -3/4, or positive 3/4. I'm so sorry. That's like positive 3/4 because it's not quite to the 1. Now C is at -1. They are not opposites. If this was at +1, those would be opposites. So it's not D. This is not the right. These are wrong. All right. And then the last one is point A has the smallest absolute value. Well, we know that that's not true because we know that A is the farthest away from 0, so it actually has the largest absolute value. All right, great work. Question 12, I think it's the last one for the video. Which pair of expressions is equivalent? So this has to deal with that distributive property. All right, so we haven't done this in a while. So let's go ahead actually down here. Let's do this one. Sorry. This is a distributive property situation, and to distribute, or that rainbow property, I would have to multiply 2 by everything. So that's 2r times 2r times 2r. Okay, and then we have, this would be 2, 4, and 6. That's 6r cubed. So that would not be 6r. So it's definitely not this guy. But this one, if you were to distribute this 5 to the 3x and the 2, 5 times 3x is 15x. And then 5 times 2 is 10. So this is the one that has to be equivalent. They're the same thing. They're just written differently. That's all it's checking. Okay, so this will be the last one for this video.